Alright, I think I got this figured out now. Maybe. Alright, there's one. Get that out of there. Pillows everywhere. Alright, so this is a vinyl update. Not a vinyl update. This is a VHS and a movie update. I haven't done one of these in a while. Last time I did one was the Tampa Screams. I'm not. This is just VHS, DVD, and some Blu-rays that I have collected over time, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. There's a lot to show here. I got a shit ton to show you guys. So the VHS. I'm gonna start out. I had bought some VHS yesterday, but I'm not gonna get time to show that. So I'll just get into what I do have to show you. Fellini's Satyricon. Supposedly, this is like a pompous, sort of rousing spectacle of Nero's reign in ancient Rome. I don't think this is anywhere near like Caligula for batshitness, but I haven't seen this, but it's supposed to be pretty wild for Fellini. So Satyricon, yeah, that's a pretty good deal on these VHS were like $1 a piece, so I bought a bunch of them. An Eye for an Eye. This is a cool ass movie, good revenge thriller. In this, where I think Sally Field's daughter gets killed, and she goes after him. Yeah, like Kiefer Sutherland's a prick in this, and he breaks into their home, I think, and kills the daughter, and she decides to take the law in her own hands. Ooh. Directed by John Schlesinger, and this was 1996. And some of Schlesinger's movies are really good, and I can't remember all the movies he's done, and some are really dry and boring. This one's particularly pretty satisfying as a thriller. So if you've not seen An Eye for an Eye, check this one out. I think he did Sunday Bloody Sunday, and he did some dramas, and he did a great what was that movie called? He did one with Martin Sheen back in the 80s, and it was like a horror film. It's really, really, really good too, but I can't remember the name of it. This one's supposed to be nuts in a way, and I've heard about this movie, but haven't seen it, and so I'm kind of curious to see this all the way through. Sidney Lumet's Q&A, the great Sidney Lumet director. I heard that this was fucking Nick Nolte plays this bizarre cop who wears dresses, and there's like an internal affairs investigation going on in this. Armand Assante plays the bad guy. I think Timothy Hutton plays the young DA, and this he does. I have not seen this. I remember this came out in the early 90s. Yeah, 1990, and this is supposed to be bat nut shits with at least with Nick Nolte in here, so on HBO Video. So yeah, Sidney Lumet directed Dog Day Afternoon and Network and all these great movies. What was that? What was that one? The Verdict. A lot of really, really good dramas throughout his time. Did he do In Cold Blood? Was that Lumet? I don't think so. I can't remember who did that one. I don't think it was Lumet. But yeah, he's a good director, really good director. So I'll take my chances with this one. Hopefully it'll be tasty. Some threes here, meaning these are done in threes. They're the third in the franchise. And why not? Rambo 3. I like this movie. I used to call this one fittingly Rambo of Arabia because it takes place like in the, I don't know if it's in the Middle East. Basically, in this one, his buddy, played by Richard Crenna, gets kidnapped behind. He falls behind, gets captured behind enemy lines, and he has to go save them. So basically, he's like living on a Buddhist community at first, but they're trying to us in Afghanistan. Supposedly, they're trying to track down some secret mission in Afghanistan, and Krennic says he's going, and he asks Rambo here if he wants to go with him, and he doesn't. And then he gets caught, and then Rambo's got to go save his ass because you got to come full circle, John. You got to come full circle on IVE, the great IVE. This movie's a lot of fun. I kind of like the first one was always like to me to be the best one, but the second and third one are starting to creep up there because the fourth and fifth one are just bloody as fuck, man. Rambo and whatever there was one just called First Blood, maybe, or not First Blood. What was I can't even remember the names of the last few Rambo movies, but they've been excellent. So Iron Eagle 3. I should get the first two Iron Eagles because they have this. These were all at Steelworkers. These were all $1. I don't collect a ton of VHS. I'm not really into VHS. I mean, I got a player, but I don't really use it. Sorry about that. So this is just total. Sorry about that. This is just total fucking ridiculousness. I'm sure. I haven't seen this one, but Lou Gossett's in it, and Rachel McClinish, who is a bodybuilder, is in this, and yeah, they're trying to save a village that's held hostage by a Latin American drug cartel. So, or Louis Gossett, and she's the bodybuilder, and it's her village supposedly in this. I have not seen this one. The first one was cockamamie enough for me. It's like so ridiculous for me. Like I was like, oh, they made more ridiculous fucking movies like this, huh? So I gotta get through these fast. I got a lot of movies to show you. Any Which Way You Can, Clint Eastwood, the sequel to Every Which Way But Loose. At the time, I think it was the longest fight in movie history, which supersedes the fight with John Wayne and I forget the guy's name in The Quiet Man, which is a great film. This with William Smith and Clint Eastwood going at it for a long time. I love this one. This one is like more silly. It's almost like a road movie in a way than the first one. The first one gets its dramatic moments in it, which I love the first one, but this one is just really, really silly. It's a lot of fucking fun. So, yes, the orangutan is back. So is Jeffrey Lewis, Ruth Gordon, cast of oddballs in it. This is just ridiculous. Legend of Wolf Mountain. So, a supernatural wolf ghost, maybe, I think, helps these kids who were kidnapped by some criminals get through the woods. Something like that. Hemdale Entertainment, 1992, I think this came out, with the great Mickey Rooney in it. Robert Azar from Maniac Cop is in this, and Bo Hopkins from, of course, The Wild Bunch is kind of what I know him from, and a bunch of other movies. Bo Hopkins is a really super solid actor, action star too. So, yeah, I don't know. It's probably family entertainment. It's probably some cheese. Speaking of cheese, Cave Girl. This is one of those 80s comedies that came out. I kept thinking this was that Caveman. I don't know why it says Cave Girl, but I was thinking of Caveman, the Ringo Starr movie. Don't ask me. On RCA home video. This is fucking ridiculous. Guy who, I think, he's on a field trip, and he somehow goes through a portal and he ends up in caveman times. He gets in some sort of time portal. He's got to figure out a way back home, but he's kind of smitten with the hot chick there. Can you blame him? So, the hot girl. So, yes, off of RCA Columbia home video. Speaking of stupid, silly comedies, I love this one, Poison Ivy. I actually bought this for my brother, sealed for Christmas, and I found it for like $5. I just got to him as like just a little Christmas present, and he didn't want it, so I ended up opening it and watching it on my barely usable VHS player. This was like a summer camp comedy that came out in the '80s with the great Michael J. Fox and Nancy McKeon from Facts of Life. This was a movie, yeah, made for television, I believe. And I had been looking for a copy of this all these years. Now, if I could just get Michael J. Fox in High School USA, I would be set. So, on Good Times Video. A Few from the King, Kissing Cousins. This one I have not seen. This is a 1964 release, and I'm just kind of getting these movies when I could find them. Yeah, Kissing Cousins. I've only seen a handful of movies by him. Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, Change of Habit, which is probably the most dramatic one, and Viva Las Vegas, which I have seen, but it's been years since I've seen them. We used to rent these on VHS tape. Like we did at least once where we had an Elvis movie marathon, and like I said, Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock in this one, and then I, woke up to Change a Habit or Clam Bake or something like that, and didn't watch all of them. But yeah, one night we rented a bunch of these, not all of them because he made so many of these movies. This one's sealed, so pretty cool. Show you the back again. And last VHS before we get into a long string of DVDs and Blu-rays. I got a lot to show you, and I have Blu-rays too. So I'm morphing over Jean Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast. This is a fantastic movie. I haven't seen this in forever. It's a Janus film that was reissued by Embassy for VHS purposes. This is the fairy of Beauty and the Beast, told in real time by the great Jean Cocteau, who was a French director. And this is bizarre. I haven't seen this movie in forever. I'll take these foreign cassettes. Why not? So yeah, this is a good one. So I figured I'd just do something different. Plus right now with the stock I have, I don't have enough to show you guys like albums and tapes and all that. That's what I usually do. I don't have enough to show you that is worthwhile, I guess, or something like that. Worth the time. I kind of want to go through some of these pretty fast because I'm going to spend a lot of time towards the end. These 4 I picked up yesterday, and all these were $1. These were all $1, so the first 10 or so I'm going to show you are all $1, so it shouldn't take too fast to get through these. This is The Punisher. This is a great fucking movie. I love this. I like the Thomas Jane one, but this was the original Punisher that came out in the late 80s or early 90s. Is it 90? And I've watched this movie probably like 30 or 40 times. I have it already. I bought another copy because my copy's old, and this is an upgrade, the DVD. I'd love to get this like on Blu-ray at some point. It would be great. It's an awesome movie, superhero comic movie. Very, very violent. And I thought Lundgren is great in this. Of course, Louis Gossett Jr., who we just talked about, is in this. Gives this movie a little bit more credibility. As a good actor that he is in this as well. And Nicole Williamson is in this too. Fantastic actor is in this. This is a good one. Yeah, The Punisher. I had to get it again. These were all, like I said, I got these at thrift stores or garage sales. Lawnmower Man 2, Job's War. Is this the one with Matthew Frewer in it? Yeah, Matthew Frewer is in this one. I haven't seen this in years. I don't remember what it's about. I really am at a loss on this one as far as like what to think of this or whatever. But I had the first Lawnmower Man, and I'd be damned if I'm going to just let that one sit alone. I'm going to watch this later today. So, Playing for Keeps. Marissa Tomei. She is not only is she hot when she's older, but she's hot when she's younger too. Um, so yeah, yeah, this is good stuff right here. Uh, Directed by the Weinsteins, everybody's favorite scumbags. But this is like a musical, I believe, um, that came out in the 80s. Uh, and I'm not sure what it's about, but I think it's about like that these inner city kids are going to buy this hotel or something like that, and the town is against it, and the hotel is going to have a bunch of rock shows. I think it's something like that. You know, something like that. They're going to try to make this place into like a venue of hot entertainment, something like that. So, hey, 1986 comedy, I'm going to get it. And last but not least, I want to spend some time on this one. This is a great movie that doesn't get a lot of love and should because it's so good. Ice Castles. This is a fucking awesome movie that came out in the late, was it 79? 79 or 1980? Yeah, 79. Figure skater ends up, I think, going blind in this, and she has to retrain, and her boyfriend Robbie Benson helps her do it in a way that's loving and hateful at the same time. It's kind of interesting because he ends up really resigning having to take care of her and all this stuff, and he hates her like defeatist attitude. Tom Skerritt is in this. Colleen Dewhurst is in this as well. Tom Skerritt, sorry, I said Skerritt. This is fucking great. This is great. It's like a drama, but like because of the like sort of like relationship between Benson and the girl in this. I think it's who's the girl in this? What's her name? Is it Jennifer Warren? Maybe? I don't know. I probably, but because of that, this movie's got a little bit of a darker angle, you know, and yeah. Yeah. She this movie gets pretty fucking dark for like, you know, what would be considered like sort of a courageous love story. I love fucking Ice Castles. I had this on VHS, now I have it on DVD. This is fucking great. I love it. That's like a high recommend. All right, let's cut through. I got a bunch of VHS before I get into some or a bunch of cheapies before I get into them, so I'm going to go through these quickly. Hell or High Water. I was watching this. It's a crime movie where Ben Foster and Chris Pine play brothers, and they're robbing banks because of their financial issues, and Jeff Bridges is going to track them down, catch the bad guys. This is Blu-ray DVD. This one was $1. I was watching scenes online with this. I don't know what it is, but shit that's shot in Texas, from I think Paris, Texas to No Country for Old Men, if that was shot in Texas. I think it was. There's just something gorgeous about that to me. There's something gorgeous about the Texas background that just gets me. I'm sure there's a ton of other movies, but yeah, this is a crime drama. Yeah, what I've seen, the scenes in it is pretty interesting. These are all together. These are all together as a franchise, so I'll just show them all at once. Mimic 2, and Mimic 3. The Mimics. So this one being the first one, the Del Toro one. I like this movie. I had a little too much studio interference in it, I think, but I really like this movie. I mean, because there's like stuff that happens, like Jeremy Northam is surrounded by these bug monsters and they attack him and he fucking lives. Like, you know, like the incredulous everybody survives in 90s movies kind of bullshit. But this was a young Del Toro, and you get to see kind of his talent on hold here. And this is a fantastic movie nonetheless, some of the script problems in this movie. It's a smart movie, and it's really paces the action and the horror real well. So, Mimic. Mimic 2, I love this one. This one is pretty gory, and this bug roach, this bug teacher sort of finds out that there's living light, well, like there's still there's a roach monster left, and it attacks her and some of her students. And this is pretty gory too. And the actress in this, um, I think her name's Alex Korzame, looks like a Emma Watson, and she has no business being in this movie as far as like, because there's a lot of running and hiding and stuff like that. But she has no business being in this movie, yet it works. I really like the second Mimic. It's a lot of fun. There's some good humor in it too. It's good. And Mimic 3, the great J.T. Petty, the guy who directed Soft for Digging, which I've not seen yet, but I heard good things about it. It was like his feature debut movie that was shot fairly low budget, no dialogue in it. I think it was black and white too. It's maybe student film, I don't know, but he kind of gained a name for himself, and then with the acclaim of that movie, and directed this one. And this one is pretty goddamn good. Lance Henriksen's in this one. It's got a lot of gore. The gore ramps up in this one quite a bit. It's got the whole rear window thing where this guy's looking out the window a little too much, and then, you know, he finds out that maybe he shouldn't be looking out the window too much because there's bug creatures out there killing people. So, The Monster of Phantom Lake, Christopher R. Mim. It's time to plug Christopher R. Mim if you've not heard of him. He is a horror filmmaker who directs low-budget, schlocky sci-fi movies that are supposed to be endearments of movies from the 50s and 60s. And thank God for Chris R. Mim. His movies are kind of silly and awesome at the same time. Really goofy, but he makes his movies look as well as he possibly can make them for the budget. So give this guy his credit. This one's really silly too. This one takes place out in the woods. This kid and his teenagers find they run into a horribly mutated, half shell-shocked World War II veteran who is half lake algae monster as well. Yeah, and he tries to write the dialogue like it's 1950. This guy knows these movies. He understands the premise of these movies, the acting. Like, he's watched these movies, Christopher R. Mim has. And so he's a student of these films. And this is a really cool sort of tribute to those movies while making something kind of different. I don't like everything he's done, Christopher R. Mim, but I do like some of his movies. I mean, some of his, because he cranks out so many. He's like David the Rock Nelson, who I'll mention later, a little bit more detail, but yeah. High Tension, just watched this. This was Alexander Aja's first breakthrough movie, at least where it got some critical acclaim here, and it was considered the scariest movie since the scariest movie since the scariest movie. This was considered the scariest movie since The Exorcist. Like, 28 Days Later was like, blah, 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 blah was, you know, they gotta stop saying that shit, because it's not true. This is a gore fest. And this has got some really, really interesting storytelling in this movie. However, he went to the M. Night Shyamalan plot twist writing school and shouldn't have, because the plot twist in this is really stupid, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I think it's really dumb. Other than that, there's a lot to like about this movie. It's definitely was maybe one of the first ones that got that sort of recognition for being the sort of French New Wave, a horror that came out with all these other movies like Calvaire and God, my brain is fried. Martyrs, Inside, all these great gory ass French horror movies that came out in the 2000s. The 2000s was, to me, that last 2000 maybe eight to 10 was that last gasp of great horror. And then I think horror's just been like, I know a lot of people like, horror movies, but to me it's just like, I see a good one, like maybe two good ones a year that I like, maybe a handful, maybe like four or five. And I'm not even trying to be like snobbish about them. They don't do anything for me. So, like I'm just kind of like, eh. Like I watched The Monkey, and I like that movie. That was fun. That just came out last week, and I thought that was fun. It was good. But I don't like every fucking horror movie that comes out. And, you have all these meta critics online now that, give these newer horror movies flowers, which, and maybe in some cases they should, but to me it's like, I'm older. So this new shit doesn't fly with me as much, And it's not about holding on to your youth and not giving newer things a chance. It's just that when you've seen the best, like when you see the best movies in your youth, horror movies, it's sort of like you go out and watch these movies. It's like it's a real kind of, to me, a pale comparison to what great horror movies can be, in my opinion, anyways. Master of Disguise. This is some fucking dumb movie where Dana Carvey keeps getting in disguises. I forget why. It's like, I think there's something. Somebody's trying to steal or has stolen some treasure, and he's trying to figure out who did it. And this isn't as clever as like Fletch, who does the same thing, gets in disguises. This is way more silly than that. And it is a point where he dresses like a fucking turtle to go in a place called the Turtle Club. Does it show him his turtle? Where's he at, his turtle? He goes into this place called the Turtle Club, and he goes, "Am I not turtle enough for your Turtle Club? Turtle," or something like that. It's so dumb. Like, Dana Carvey's comedy gold in a way. Silly, fun. This is fun. I like this movie, Masters of Disguise. Yeah. This one I watched yesterday, and I don't even know how to describe this one. So, this is Black Knight. Directed by a Frenchman named Olivier Smulders. I believe he's French. 2004 came out on Cult Epics. So Cult Epics is a good label. This one was $1 too off Cult Epics. That's a pretty good deal on this. The premise is this guy studies bugs at night, and there's an eclipse that happens where like there's basically no night time. It's night. There's only like 15 minutes or something like that of sunlight a day, and then it's all night. And he finds this dying woman in bed, and she dies and cocoons herself into being another woman. And she's black, and she cocoons herself into whatever, and then when she gets out of the cocoon, she's white. It's bizarre. I was thinking a little bit of the Reflecting Skin, Philip Ridley, I think was his name. Was that his name? Ridley? I was thinking like something like that. Obviously, the other one that'll come to mind is David Lynch for influence. Pretty weird. Pretty weird movie, Black Knight. I liked it. I like movies like that. I don't like to watch them all the time, but yeah, I want to try to get these done. I got a lot to show you, and I got a lot more to show you after I show you a lot more. Last House in the Woods. This one is fucking awesome. So this young group, or this young couple, escapes this group of bullies, and they go into this home of an older couple, but the older couple are sadists too. This is really trying to push the envelope of gore and trying to be as offensive as possible in a way, and it kind of comes across to me as a little bit like ridiculous, because it's trying to go for it so much. But that's certainly the charm in this movie. I would recommend this one to anybody, because you're watching, you're like, well, I've seen this before, yeah, but that's kind of like, this movie's kind of like having fun with, I think, being extreme. And it might be not be doing it on purpose, but it's still fucking doing it. And here you see this little kid nibbling on a leg. And then the last scene in this movie is like kind of artsy fartsy, and it doesn't really make any sense to me. Or maybe I just need to watch it again. But yeah, this is fucking ridiculous. Last House on the Woods, a Ghost House release. This came out in 2006. This is a keeper. Langoliers, fucking good old artesian label right there. Good movie here. Tom Holland, of course, who did Fright Night and Child's Play, directed this one. It's a strange movie. One of those 3-hour Stephen King mini events that was great back in the day. So something happens like on board this flight, and it looks, I think there's some sort of like, they land this plane that they almost crash, so they land the plane, and all these surreal events happen after they land the plane. And this is just a strange movie, The Langoliers. You got Dean Stockwell, David Morse, Frankie Fasson is in this. Bronson Pinchot is in this. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Okay, The Shadow, I have it, but I'm going to plug this one. It's a great 90s movie. Another great superhero, or what do you want to call action hero movie. Of course, The Shadow, I remember when I was a little kid, I was kind of intimidated by The Shadow. I didn't quite understand his powers, but this kind of explains his powers and how it works. And the way it's kind of shows the mysteriousness of the Shadow, and then like sort of how he uses his power, how that kind of bounces off each other is great. And it's just, John Lone is in this, that who was in The Last Emperor, is cheesy as hell in this, is Genghis Khan. This has got a good cast. It's got Penelope Ann Miller in this, Ian McKellen, and the great Peter Boyle, along with Alec Baldwin. I like this movie. I like The Shadow. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite movies from the 90s, probably. I've watched this so many times that, you know, this is fucking ridiculous. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. This is another one of those movies that goes for broke, and it's kind of really over the top, but it's sort of sexual. It sort of tries to be real graphic, and it's sort of like what it's trying to do. You know, like it's trying to, when it unveils something, it's supposed to shock and all that. It's something else. This is a fun movie. I certainly like this one a lot. 1974 movie. I think I want to say this is a Hammer movie, but I don't know. Somebody would tell me if I'm wrong on this, but this was one of my friend Dave's favorite movies. Joshua, this is a great fucking movie. Great fucking killer kid movie, or evil kid movie. This one's a fucking delight. Because not of the kid playing Joshua, who is actually not bad in the movie at all, but that's not really the problem. Or he's not the problem. There's not really a problem with this movie, other than just how butt fucking ridiculous this movie really is. Where, like, when Sam Rockwell and Vera Farmiga finally find out their son's evil, like, Sam Rockwell's like confronting him in a park, and he's like beating the shit out of him in front of strangers. Like, and Vera Farmiga's like, you did it, and you know, he's setting her up where he took his sister from the crib and hit her, and then he later on, she calls her husband in a panic, and later on his husband comes home, and of course the baby's back in the crib, that kind of thing. But yeah, I thought the kid is pretty good in this. Not great. He's not a great evil kid. He's it's more of a subtle performance, really, with the evil kid. You know, he's not, he's kind of more like stoic in a way, but he's an evil little bastard in this, for sure. So I just watched this. It's fucking awesome. I love these movies. I'd like to get, I think there was like 4 or 5 of them, but I love these movies. I got the first 2 in a box set here, Death Race movies. Death Race 1 and Death Race 2, of course, with Jason Statham in them. Of course, I think these were remakes of the first or the old Death Race movie with Stallone, which I need a copy of that like yesterday, or if I have a copy, I don't know where it's at. But this takes place in prison, and Ian McShane's in one of the sequels, or is in the first one. Danny, what's his name? God, I can't remember his name. Danny Trejo's in the second one. I can't remember his name for some reason. And Ving Rhames is in the second one. These are exploitative, gory, little slices of great fucking action. I love the exploitation element in these movies. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, great stuff. I watched this last Saturday, and this might be my favorite film by this guy. This is Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan. Long ass, drawn out war movie, but is riveting along the way based on the way he shoots it, because there's basically like three stories happening, and they're all kind of interfolding at once. Tom Hardy's great in this, and there's no dialogue in there with him in this movie. It's all his eyes as he's a fighter pilot. So he's just showing emotions based on his eyes in this. I forget who else was in this, but yeah, Cillian Murphy plays a fucking war soldier who's just fucking fucked up from the war, amongst other things. So that's good. It's good. Yeah, I was just talking to my brother about Christopher Nolan. All right, let's try to get through these next ones so I can get through the next. I got one more bag to show you after this one, but I'm going to show the Blu-rays towards the end, I think. So here's an hour or 2 hours of fun. This is Our Gang, the collection. This fucking Little Rascals. Yeah, this one was $2. I got a whole bunch of Little Rascals on VHS for cheap yesterday. I wanted to show them, but I don't think I'm going to have time. So, Little Rascals are better known as Spanky and Our Gang, too, or Our Gang. Comedic shorts for the old family. Everybody knows these. Alfalfa, Darla, and of course Spanky right there. Cause when I was kids, Little Rascals were like, they're kind of like a cartoon, but they weren't a cartoon. But these things are like, they stand the test of time, if you ask me. Like, these are fucking great. And there is somebody that released these on like a real nice label, but it cost a lot of money and is out of print. And I implore whatever film company can, please get this shit reissued. It's fucking wonderful. It is wonderful, and it's got to be in the public domain, because this is on Good Times Video, I think. So this is a 2-pack, and this is Little Rascals' Greatest Hits in Our Gang Comedy Festival, by the name of the 2 DVDs. So True Detective, second season. Got the first season. This one is not quite as good as the first season, I think, but Colin Farrell, man, is amazing in this movie when he goes. There's a scene in this where he confronts a bully and the bully's dad, and it's great. Fucking great. It's fucking awesome, man. Like how he talks to this bully, man. He's like saying something like he's gonna skull fuck his dad. He's gonna skull fuck his dad's head and his mom's ass or something like that. Like, to this, like, high school kid, just completely off the rails. Yeah. Vince Vaughn's in this, Rachel McAdams. Yeah, this is an intense show. And yeah, this one probably not as strong as the first season. I still kind of like it for Colin Farrell. Vince Vaughn could be a pretty good actor, too, you know. This next movie, fucking ridiculous. Oh, God. Runaway Nightmare off Vinegar Syndrome label. This is fucking ridiculous too. This is so ridiculous. This group of worm farmers, these 2 guys get kidnapped by this female, what are they? Gun runners that are almost like a cult, and they're stealing plutonium from the local mafia, and the guys are getting kind of caught in the middle of this. This is fucking awesome. If you can get Runaway Nightmare, go get this, especially if you like low budget exploitation like I do. This is fucking phenomenal. It's absolutely wonderful. I was just so laughing when I found out what the plot was to it. It was like laughing my ass off. Devil's Backbone. This movie's pretty good. I don't think it's quite as scary as like a lot of people say it is, but it's definitely got some intensity to it, and it's very very well told. Of course, I want to say I think this was directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's a good little ghost story. Takes place in an orphanage. There's an older kid who sort of is abusive, and shit gets out of hand in this fairly quickly in this movie, and it just has a fucking like it has a pretty cool ending to it, I'll say. So Devil's Backbone. I'm pretty sure this is Del Toro. Yeah, it's a good one. Like the ghost in it's good, but there's a lot of people that think that Devil's Backbone is one of the best ghost stories ever made. I won't go that far, but Christmas present I got from my brother. Well, not Christmas present. He just gave this to me. So yeah. So this is Luther the Geek. This has been, my brother bought this back in 2009. This is off of Troma. You can see the Troma label. This is one of the better late 80s horror movies. Kind of a slasher. Luther is a geek who bites chickens' heads off and likes to nibble on people's necks. And he basically attacks these a mother and her daughter and boyfriend at this abandoned sort of farmhouse. And this is good. This is really fucking excellent. I think this is a Canadian filmmaker, Carlton Albright, and it was the only thing he made. I was like, well, this one's a fucking hidden gem, man. I say hidden gem, but most people that know horror, watched 80s horror, know this movie's fucking righteous, you know. This one is fucking ridiculous. Vendetta. Troma, another Troma release. I'm on my Troma kick right here. Oh, gosh. So basically, this cop and psychologist get together to investigate a bunch of these bizarre mutilation murders, and the killer ends up being a cop. And there's a big showdown at the end of this that's supposed to be very emotionally fulfilling and is absolutely overwrought with bad acting, and there's a lot of kinky sex in this too. Well, I won't say a lot. There's some kinky sex in this too, including handcuffs, lots of nudity, bad dramatic acting, everything you need to say, please let me see this movie. It's fucking awesome, Vendetta. Definitely happy to have this one. Audrey Rose, this is a fucking batshit movie too. This is a crazy, crazy movie too. With Anthony Hopkins and the great Marsha Mason. Basically, Hopkins tracks down Marsha Mason and says that the soul of his daughter is in her daughter. And it turns out that he's right. But this has got... I almost goes down that road of, is this going to be like The Exorcist? And then it doesn't. It doesn't go down that road. She acts bizarre in this, where she's almost like dancing around. So they stay away from that kind of stuff. Directed by the great Robert Wise, who is wise enough to realize that he can't do another Exorcist ripoff, and doesn't in this one. A very good movie. Very good movie. Pretty intense, too, as the movie unfolds. This is supposed to be some dark understudy where this kid's parents die. The movie's called Footsteps. And he follows this guy who gets off on filming violence. And so he wants this kid to be his understudy, and it's supposed to be a study in evil and all that. It's kind of flat. I was a little disappointed. I spent $5 on this. It's a British film. I might have to give it another chance. I didn't really enjoy this at all. I just think it's like this has been done so many times. The Examination of Evil, and blah 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 blah. I mean, I've seen this a lot in movies, so this one didn't really capture my eye. Very low budget. Um, you might like it. Footsteps. I certainly did not. Getting close to the end for this stack. Oh, this is awesome. 15 and Getting Straight with the great Drew Barrymore in it and Corey Feldman, who actually plays more of the lead in this right there, back in his late 80s. Fucking permed, gelled out hair right there. This is really fucking cheesy and horrible in a way. Basically, this group of kids, there's the counselors were addicts too, and they're trying to help these other kids in this 30-day program, and it's basically like a big group therapy session. It's kind of like if you're, like in Breakfast Club where they have that big group therapy session in there where that's done actually real well. But just think how bad it would be if it was done like for recovery focused. And this is like a television after school special. So you have this clunky dialogue and cliched garbage in it. And it's awfully awesome in a way. Though I kind of like this movie. Yeah, this came out in 1984. Yeah, as part of the ABC's after school special. Drugs will destroy you. Yeah, like that whole shit. Stepfather 2. I like this one. Gets scorier in this one, and the wives continue to be as clueless as fuck in these movies, right? This one has got some. I don't know if it amps up the gore, but the gore feels way more like, like way more like right there. So, yeah, right more present for this one. So Stepfather 2 on Synapse Films, 1989 film that came out. Synapse released it. Psychos in Love is ridiculous. I like this movie a lot, from Shriek Show. Fucking ridiculous movie. It almost takes place where this couple fall in love and they're both serial killers and a cannibal's on their trail, and it's just super gory. It gets a little weirdly dramatic towards the end in a way, but it's super fucking fun for most of the part on Shriek Show. So, yeah. I'll show you the inside of this. Fucking Psychos in Love. This just got some real nice treatment not that long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, from, was it Vinegar Syndrome? I think reissued this. Alright. Getting towards the end, guys. Visions and Suffering. Visions of Suffering. This is the special edition, filmed by Andrei Eskinov, who did Philosophy of a Knife, Russian filmmaker. Pretty surreal, pretty weird, as you would guess, with that cover. This one was $15. All these movies I showed you, with an exception of the first four I got from Viper Video, like I said. This is on the Unearthed label. This one's fucking weird. And this guy thinks that these demons are stalking him in his sleep. And it shows a bunch of clubs. He goes to the same club, and all the weird lights, and he gets weird at these clubs. And I don't, fuck, I'm going to have to watch this again. But Philosophy of Knife is supposed to be fucked up. So this was not as fucked up as it was weird. I think that's what he was trying to go for in this, and so it's worth having. I like these extreme movies. I like them. So, and that's that for that one. And now let's get on to the next set of movies. This is the last bag I'll show you, and I'm going to go through these as quick as possible. If I can get through these as quick as possible. John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. The Night is the Night to Come. One of the great American films from the 70s, in my opinion. This is a great movie. Just needed an upgrade on this. It was $3. Great movie from the 70s. I mean, I don't need to say anything. Everybody knows this movie. It's great. Noah. I kind of wanted to see this movie. This one was $3 too. Darren Aronofsky directed. Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly, about Noah's and Noah's Ark. Don't know if this is any good or not. A good biblical epic every now and then suits me fine. So, still sealed. So for $3, I thought was a good deal. Yeah, I remember this movie came out and it got shit on, but I kind of like Aronofsky's movies, you know. He just did, what was the last one he just did? The Whale, was that the last one he did? The one with Brendan Fraser? Yeah. This one looks kind of fun. The Jesus Trip. So this is a biker gets accused of stealing cocaine from this border patrol, and they're on the run, and he picks up a nun who doesn't want to be in the convent anymore. And so there's he wants to get out of the biker life, she wants to get out of the convent, so they want to have their normal little family life in this. Came out in the 70s. I've seen this is like very low grade quality of a 70s movie, The Jesus Trip, but I can't wait to watch this one. I love early 70s exploitation, so this should be good. Strange Brew, Doug and Bob McKenzie. I haven't seen this movie ever, and if I had seen it, I don't remember what it's about. So, these two goofy fucking shits, right? I think there's some sort of, they're trying to save the day from this guy who's brewing beer, played by Maximilian Schell, or Maximilian Schell, Max Anchido, and he wants to use elements in the beer for brainwashing. Keep buying his beer, maybe? Yeah, this is Snapcase, but Snapcase doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people say they hate it, but Wanda, Barbara Loden's Wanda. This one is a strange sort of road trip movie that came out in the early 70s. Directed by Barbara Loden, who was wife of Elia Kazan. This stars a woman who's adrift in this modern day industrial wasteland, and she embarks on kind of a crime spree with a smaller time crook, and shit gets out of hand, basically. So, yeah. This is off of Parlor Pictures. See the P up there? So, looks pretty good. Wanda. The Carpenter, yes. I saw Terror for Tom just showed this, his 4DK version, which I don't have time for that. I don't have the money for all that shit. I paid $4 for this one on VHS. This is part of the Katrina's Nightmare Theater. I just hope she's not talking over it. If she introduces the movie, I'm kind of fine with that. But yeah, this is a fucking goofy movie with a great Cole Hauser in it, man. Horror movie from the 80s. This is a lot of fun. Really entertaining. I'm trying to get through these fast because I don't want to be over an hour. Great Larry Cohen with special effects, yeah. Guy who did, amongst other movies, the It's Alive movies. And this is the follow-up from, I think the follow-up from his excellent movie called Perfect Strangers. This one takes place where this director kills a girl and he ends up covering it up by shooting it as if it's a movie. So this one was $5. Yeah, a movie within a movie within a movie kind of thing. I kind of like the idea of that. So yeah. God. Dark Star, John Carpenter's first movie, student film, I think. This movie's fucking ridiculous. Co-written by Dan O'Bannon. This is a very quirky, strange, fucking sci-fi comedy, horror comedy that came out in the early 70s. It's fucking bizarre and silly at the same time. And I've been wanting a copy of Dark Star for a while, so god damn it, I got it. The fucking monster's a beach ball. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Eyes of Fire. There you go. Folk Horror 101 right here. This is a Synapse release, or 7 release, I should say. 1984 this came out. I've seen this. This is really good. Really good. Basically, a preacher who basically is cheating on his wife, leave, and they go in the woods and they have supernatural events take place. basically in the woods. You know, this actually has a few folk horror short films in it, including Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Transformations, and Backwoods from 2018. So, yeah, Ice of Fire is cool. Yeah, somebody just released this, gave it a nice, was it Arrow? I think gave Eyes of Fire a kind of a nice polish. Somebody did. Meridian, yes, fucking full moon goodness here. This one was $8. Beautiful young artist must choose her destiny in this haunting central tale of love, passage, and revenge, starring Sherilyn Fenn. So, I haven't seen this as maybe like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing. I'm loosely saying that. I don't remember. Yeah. We're getting there. We might get this thing done by a little after 1. Shock Corridor. This is the Criterion version of this. This is all beat up. If I would have noticed the inside, this says fucking... This was a fucking school fucking library DVD, so... Damn it. So this thing was scorched a little bit, but... It's alright, I'll keep it for now, but... I mean, it's not horrible. Could be worse, but I don't like to buy anything that's got multiple scratches on it, if I can help it. Part of the Sebring Public Library. This movie's fucking nuts. It takes place in an institution, and all these crazy people are in this institution. Directed by, what is it, Samuel Fuller? Is it Samuel Fuller? Yeah. This is a nut movie. Like, there's a black guy in there who's dressed in the KKK outfit. Only in this movie. Only in this movie could that happen, in this movie, yeah. Flesh and Bullets. This is supposed to be some awful shit. I've heard nothing but awful shit. I remember when this was originally released by Vinegar Syndrome years back, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and whoever was reviewing this 10 years ago, this came out. So it was 2015, so it was longer than that. When this first came out, this was horribly reviewed as being one of the worst movies of its time. It's just very flat and blah, 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 blah. So I was interested from the beginning with that sort of notion. So I think this is basically like sort of like a reimagining of Strangers on a Train, where there's a hatch. There's these two people agree to murder their ex-wives, but yeah, I love kind of horrible movies, kind of like that Runaway Nightmare that I showed you earlier. I like movies like that. I like bad movies. I just do. I like the fact they make them anyways. It doesn't matter why or how or whatever. They just do. So, 2 left from this before I get to the Blu-rays, and I only have a few Blu-rays. Mark of the Devil. Yeah. This movie, it used to come with a barf bag. It used to have a barf bag. When it was originally packaged, it was packaged with a barf bag in it. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but this was the first movie rated V for violence. 1970 film that came out. I think this is one of those witch hunter movies, maybe. I'm not sure with that, but yeah, released by Blue Underground. So he had like 4 or 5 copies of this at his store at Viper Video. I'm like, how'd you get so many copies of this movie? You know, I don't know. Good movie. I think this was a witch trial, witch hunt thing, but I don't. Yeah, Witchfinders. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And last but not least, with the this was a VHS, and look at the package on this. I've been in the mood to buy Criterion stuff, so this will work. Pandora's Box. This is Reflections on Pandora's Box, the booklet, and the movie. So this is what is included. I mean, nice booklet there. Old Louise Brooks, black and white star. Basically, she has a sort of sexual lusting, and she kind of wants to slow down her sexual habits a little bit, her lust, but she gets caught up with the wrong guy, and it's a little too late by then. So yeah, this is kind of nice that this is got this on DVD. I have a Blu-ray player. It's connected, but I haven't really been playing Blu-rays yet. I will, but this one is just a DVD. But I don't mind this. This is a real nice package for $15. I was pretty happy with that. So, all right. I'll probably show, yeah, all right. New Kids. Now I picked up some of these for Christmas. I've had some of these for a while, and this was definitely one of them. This is a great fucking movie. A great fucking movie. By Sean Cunningham, who of course directed the first Friday the 13th movie. This is a these two kids go to live with their I think grandparents in this small town, and this gang is kind of bullying the town, victimizing the town, so the two kids are going to go up against the gang in this. This is brutal, like adolescent violent fantasy shit 101 here. Fucking amazing stuff. The New Kids, yeah, it's a really good fucking movie. Bat. I'm not even going to see the word because I don't want to get flagged. Bat pussy. This is actually porn that was actually discovered from an old porn theater in someplace in Tennessee, maybe Memphis. And they restored it and they put it together. No one knows who directed this movie. It's horribly made, but it is a porn movie. And basically in this movie, this bat woman here, or bat pussy, finds out that this couple is doing inappropriate sexual behavior. So she goes over. He's basically taking pictures. This guy's taking pictures of his wife naked, and so she finds out. She goes over there and has a threesome. This is fucking what this movie's about. Oh God. And she finds out they are, because she has pulsations in her vagina, that it twickles, and so that it twitches in there, and she knows something bad's happening, so that's how she finds out. And then she feels bad afterwards and puts her head down, walks home. I think yeah, I've been wanting a copy of this movie for a while. It's supposed to be pretty horrible. Like, the director actually fucking talks in somebody's ear while shooting the scene. You can see like the camera cord dangling in it while they're shooting. Right up my alley. Acid King. Yes. This, I don't know if it's going to be as good as I want it to be, but it's a Wild Eye release about Ricky Kasso, okay? The great satanic panic, part of the great satanic panic of the 80s, where he killed a kid who owed him drug money, basically, but did it as a ritualistic sacrifice, supposedly, and then he killed himself. But this is the story. There's a book out there called Say You Love Satan. Just read that. That's just probably going to be, I don't know, this could be good. The trailer looked entertaining as hell, so this is a documentary about the case. So, look at fucking Ricky Kasso, man. He was a fucking strung out. He was on drugs when they found him. Another Criterion, Long Good Friday, Bob Hoskins, crime thriller from England, early 1980s. This thing came out. I've been wanting a copy. I almost bought one in November, but I decided to get one now. So this has got a 2-disc set on it. So yeah, really good stuff right here. So I think in this one, like, he's trying to score this major real estate deal and finds out that his crime empire were like kind of attacked. So people were killing off members of his criminal syndicate. So it sends him kind of on a quest to find out who's killing all these people. So, oh, this fucking movie. Freeway 2. This is so fucking tasty. This one is called Confessions of a Trickology. So this has a like, I think a lesbian relationship in this with Natasha Lyonne as a teenage prostitute who escapes from juvie with a 16-year-old lesbian serial killer, and both go on a destructive road trip. And I think she's trying to stop the other girl from killing. Like, this is such good fucking exploitation. This one was 24, but I think I only spent like 18 on it. He discounted the price on it. This is fucking nuts. Vincent Gallo's in it, this movie. If you haven't seen Freeway 2, man, I like this one even more than the first one. Just for the exploitative stuff. And last but not least, the last thing I want to show you is something my brother got me for Christmas. And this had just been released, I'd say, in the last probably year, maybe. I would say last year, and maybe the last few years. I'm not sure when it was originally released, but this is David the Rock Nelson collection, including Son of Werewolf, Adventures of Janet, and Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf. So David the Rock Nelson, if you're not familiar, I think you would be if you like horror movies. But if you don't, that's fine. No skin off my, leg, I guess. But low budget, shot on VHS, creature features. I mean, that should tell you right there kind of what you're getting yourself in for here. But I wanted this like really bad. I actually asked Shelby from Viper Video to order this because I didn't think anybody would want it. I go, I love this guy. And I actually talked to him sometimes online, David the Rock Nelson. Not all the time. We're not best buddies, but every now and then I say hi to him. He's got like an online presence, he's got a Facebook thing. He'll answer your Facebook if you, I just told him he was like a personal hero of mine, and he sent me like a request or whatever. So, or he responded back to my post. So, and that's that. That's all I have. Whew. So this is about the same time as the last video, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, it's basically everything I have to show you that I bought. And there's a few more movies here and there that I have, but I don't necessarily want to show them to you because they're just like Spartacus, which I'm watching. And there's a handful more of movies, but there's just like, I don't know. I just wanted to show more like what I recently just bought and kind of the more interesting titles, I guess. Although, albeit, I think a lot of people have a lot of these movies anyways, but maybe somebody doesn't have one or the other. Yeah, that's it. I will be doing another vinyl update, but that's going to be probably... I haven't been buying a ton of vinyl, so that's probably going to be when I can get around to it. Which isn't going to be very often. I'm saving to go to London, so I just wanted to make a video to kind of keep my small group of people who are watching me to continue to watch me. So thank you for those who spend their hour and 7-8 minutes with me. Even if you don't spend the whole time, I don't blame you. I don't watch videos all the way through sometimes either. But thank you for the continued support. I like my channel. I like it small. It's very small. Like I said, I get 30 to 50 views. That's kind of where I want to be at. I mean, if I got more, that would be great, but I don't really care. I like the fact that it's small, and the few people that watch are probably very loyal, and I do appreciate you guys spending your time with me when you can. And that's it. That's all I have for you. I'll be back, like I said, in a few weeks with a vinyl update. But this is it as far as like the movies. I wanted to do a movie VHS one. This stuff was all the multiple trips up to Tampa I made in like since probably November. I went up there like 3 times, and so these were all the movies I got up there from that time. So you can see I usually buy a lot of movies when I go up there. So anyways, Viper Video is in Tampa. If you want to buy DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, box sets, laser disc, VHS, it's a great fucking store. It really is. I gotta go. Bye.